Welcome to a place where hearts unwind, infinite threads that gently bind, love and compassion in every line. Together we rise through space and time.
Welcome back to Infinite Threads. I'm your host, Bob. There's a moment on this path, often sooner than we expect, when loving the world more deeply begins to change things inside us that we never meant to change. Not because we forced anything and not because we tried to be better, but because love itself starts loosening knots that we didn't realize we had tied. And it's gentle. It's quiet. It's like waking up one morning and realizing the storm inside you isn't as loud as it used to be. Today we're talking about that unraveling. The subtle undoing of old defenses. The ones built to protect us, the ones we relied on, the ones we thought were necessary to survive. Because as love for all life expands, it expands the walls that once felt essential and then begin dissolving all on their own. And that can feel vulnerable, but it can also feel like freedom. Most of us don't realize how much armor we've been wearing until something softens it. We learn early in life, sometimes through pain, sometimes through disappointment, sometimes through simply watching how the world behaves. That softness feels dangerous. We learn to tighten, harden, distance, defend. It becomes second nature. We walk through the world with invisible shields. The polite smile that hides hurt. The quick joke that keeps people from getting too close. The irritation that covers fear. Or the silence that covers longing, or the dismissal that hides how deeply something mattered to us. These layers build slowly, year by year, interaction by interaction, wound by wound. And eventually, they start to feel like us, as if the armor is our personality, our baseline, our identity. But guys, it isn't. It's just the echo of all the times we needed protection. And love, especially unconditional love, doesn't attack that armor. It doesn't rip it off. It simply creates a warmth inside you that makes the metal less necessary. And slowly, quietly, it begins to melt. It often starts small. You find yourself giving someone the benefit of the doubt where you wouldn't have before. You feel a tug of compassion where irritation used to be automatic. You pause instead of reacting. You see someone's pain beneath their behavior, and it changes the whole landscape of your response. At first, it feels strange, unfamiliar, like wearing a shirt that's too soft for the person you think you are. But that's the truth. You aren't who you thought you were. Not entirely. Not anymore. Love broadens your perspective. It expands your field of empathy. It adds room inside you. Room you didn't realize had been cramped for years. You begin noticing things that were always there but never visible to you. The tiredness behind a rude remark, the fear behind someone's anger, the loneliness behind someone's coldness, or the longing behind someone's stubbornness. You start to see that, guys. And the more you notice it, the more your own heart begins to uncurl. Because when you see others differently, you see yourself differently too. Softening isn't comfortable. It's beautifully uncomfortable. Because the moment our walls come down, even in small places, we feel exposed. Not in a dramatic way, in a human way. We suddenly feel more. More compassion, more sadness, more tenderness, more longing, more grief, more connection. And sometimes that is just overwhelming. For years, we protected ourselves from feeling everything. The armor kept us numb in its own way. And when that numbness lifts, the rawness arrives. But here's the miracle, guys. Here's the miracle. The vulnerability doesn't destroy us. It deepens us. It makes us capable of a kind of love, insight, and clarity that the armored version of us could never access. Vulnerability isn't weakness. It's the birthplace of every form of courage that's worth having. When your defenses unravel, you don't become less safe. You become more real. And that reality is where healing finally begins. And here's the compassionate part. We must never skip this part. Our defenses weren't mistakes. They protected us when nothing else did. They carried us through times we didn't have the tools for. They kept us functioning, surviving, and enduring. Your walls were built by a version of you who didn't have the luxury of softness. There is no shame in that. Only gratitude. But guess what? You are not that person anymore. Not entirely, anyway. You're growing. Your heart is widening. Your awareness is expanding. And the world inside you is no longer the battlefield it once was. So the armor, the reflexive tension, the suspicion, the quick defenses, they begin to feel heavier than they used to. Not because they are wrong, but because you have outgrown them. It's really as simple as that. You're evolving into someone who no longer needs them in the same way. And that evolution That is love. No other force does that. None. One of the great illusions of this culture is that hardness equals strength. We admire the stoic. We applaud the unbothered. We praise the emotionally distant. But hardness is often just fear in a steel disguise. Softness, genuine, intentional softness, requires more courage than any armor ever did. Think on that. Softness says, I am awake to the world. I am open to connection. I am willing to feel. I am willing to see you as human, even when it's hard. I am willing to let love be the thing that leads. Softness creates bridges. Softness heals wounds. Softness becomes truth. And softness transforms rooms simply by entering them. And the more you love all life around you, animals, strangers, friends, difficult people, the whole chaotic swirl of humanity, the more this softness becomes your natural state. It's not a performance. It's not a technique. It is who you are becoming. You're shedding what never belonged to you in the first place. At some point in this unraveling, you realize something profound. You are lighter. You are lighter. You worry less about being misunderstood. You don't react as sharply. Your patience is longer. Your compassion grows automatically. Your capacity for love increases naturally. You no longer need to win every argument. You no longer need to defend every opinion, and you no longer need to prove yourself. You no longer need to protect your heart from every wound, because you understand that love, not armor, is what keeps your spirit intact. And knowing that's the quiet freedom no one warns you about. You start caring deeper, but stressing less. You start feeling more, but fearing less. You start opening more, but hurting less. This is the paradox of love. The softer you become, the stronger you are. And that's logical, guys. Just think about it. As your defenses unravel, your entire perception shifts. You start seeing life not as a series of threats to endure, but as a continuous invitation to connect, to understand, to heal, to uplift, to care, to witness, and to belong. You become a quieter presence, but a deeper one. You become less reactive, but more responsive. You become less guarded, but more grounded. And the world, this loud, divided, frightened world, starts feeling a little less overwhelming and a little more like home. Not because it changed, but because you did. love is shaping you. It's shaping you into someone capable of holding more light. And that light touches everything in your path. Those ripples, they're amazing, aren't they? The unraveling of defenses isn't the loss of who you were. It's the revealing of who you've always been underneath the fear. It is. A gentler you, a braver you, a clearer you, a softer, stronger, more compassionate you. The kind of you who walks through the world seeing every living being, human or not, as a fellow traveler, a fellow soul, a fellow life form deserving of care. And once you begin to love that way, the unraveling never stops. Because every layer that falls away reveals more truth, and every truth reveals more love, waiting to lead you forward. You're not breaking down. You're breaking open. And the world needs who you are becoming. Guys, I love you very, very, very much. And you know what I need you to do. Go out there and pass that on. Later, Gators. Bye.